Hope you're having an exciting day out there, wherever you are. You're welcome to M4S Studios here in the heart of Lagos. And today we'll be delving into something very different, not the usual, but looking at one of the super brand, one of the greatest brand in Africa. They were at the point the fifth rated team in the world. I think they are going back gradually because they went as far as almost 60-something, their 30s, their 40s. But I think the team, after watching them and the AFCON, has a very bright future. And a lot of us have said, how do we look at this team? Why is it up and down? Well, they say parabola is a part of life. Where you flow, you come down, you find the course and rise back again. Today, we're going to be talking with somebody who probably spent the longest time inside the Super Eagles, who was with the team through the thick and thin. And I'm talking about a seasoned journalist. Should I call him? I think he's qualified to be called a veteran at this point. Tony Bitoy. Tony, you're welcome.
let me start by saying that I'm not a veteran.
What are you?
I'm just...
You are just starting.
I'm just... because when veteran is reserved for people like you that we were watching when we were in secondary school and in the university. Somebody like Emenike Agu, when I was in the university, I was watching him. Somebody like you on many years ago. So how can I now be described by you as a veteran?
A veteran. Yes.
No, super veteran.
Okay, super veteran. Yes.
Yeah, a super veteran.
But really good to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Let's look at your time at the Super Eagles. How was it?
Wow. I still have some nostalgic feelings around the Super Eagles anytime I see them, maybe going into a game or coming out of a game, celebrating and all of it. It was one of the best moments of my life and my career as in sports. It was such a wonderful moment. And from 2015 to I think 2021 thereabouts, it was a wonderful moment, particularly when your team is doing well, and I had a wonderful time with the boys. Some of them are still there, and we still have very cordial relationship till today, till tomorrow, So I'll look back and always be thankful for the opportunity to have been part of the Super Eagles. And I'm always happy to announce that I'm a Super Eagle. Because once a Super Eagle, always a super Eagle. So only that they don't put ex-international in front of my name. And when they invite
media officers, we're calling them ex-media officers.
and when they invite Super Eagles players to important events and they reward them, I'm always not called to come and be a part of it.
The reward.
So maybe those are the little benefits missing now, but it's a wonderful opportunity, and I really, really appreciate all those who made it happen.
That brings me to the question. When you say a team, Super Eagles is a team, the media, the medical, so why are some people left out?
Because people, they remember, it's
about the ambience.
It's a team, really. And but the good news is that whenever the Eagles are rewarded, the entire team gets the reward. Okay. Media officer is included. I didn't get the privilege of a national honor, but Baba Femeraji, who replaced me, got the national honor. Maybe if our president, when I was with the team, because we had the bronze, and our bronze is always golden in Nigeria. Sometimes our bronze is always golden. But nowadays, the media officers always get, maybe not exactly the same thing with the players, but they get something, and it's very encouraging. Happened with the basketball. The girls got something, their media officer as well. Happened with the Super Falcons, their media officer also got national honor. And then the Super Eagles to the AFCON in 2023 that was played in Abidjan also got something. So it's a team. Everybody is involved, and that's how it is. And we must commend all those who are doing that, making everybody feel...
A lot of people are very emotional, sentimental when it comes to the Super Eagles. I'm sure if you go on Google, one of the super brands we have out of this country is the Super Eagles.
Oh, yes.
Have we managed that brand properly? You as a media officer. And if we have not, what should we do to get it to the right place so that we can monetize it?
Yeah, I think we've done good, but we can do better, a lot better. The owners of the Super Eagles, that's the federal government of Nigeria and the Nigerian Football Federation. Okay, maybe I should also add the National Sports Commission. They've done a whole lot, but we can do a lot more. We can make the Super Eagles to be more engaged with the Nigerian people. There was something that we did when I was with the Super Eagles that I feel is still very relevant today. Visiting motherless babies' homes, getting involved in community projects. But because the window and the activities around football these days is so tight, nowadays, in one FIFA window, you may have 2-3 games. And so the opportunities to put a lot of other non-football activities in your plan is limited. Because you just want to start your camp. You open camp on a Monday, you have a game on a Wednesday or on a Thursday. So there is very little time to do some of these other things. But if there is a chance, to provide an opportunity for the Super Eagles to be engaged with the people, be engaged in community service, visit schools, visit hospitals, visit markets, visit, the army, visit the police, just do something to...
A bit different.
Different to put them in the minds of the people. That will always be welcome, So maybe that's something that I think can be done. But yes, it's a super brand, particularly when we are winning. When we are not winning, the players are even afraid to come out. But when we are winning and doing well and putting smiles on the faces of everybody, unifying this nation, causing joy in the north, in the south, in the east, and the west, across all our geopolitical zones, is something that you can't quantify with money. And I hope that government understands that this is a major part of our national life. This is a unifier, When football is going on, you hardly see riots, outcry again. Everybody wants to rush home to watch a Super Eagles game kick off maybe at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. That's what they want to see. And when they win, the celebration goes on and on and on. It's when we don't win that people now remember, we were supposed to plan a protest. Now that Super Eagles are out, I think it's time to revisit the issue. But, the Eagles are a major, major brand, a major, major part of our national life, and it can only get better.
Let's look at when you lose matches. What's the typical feeling in the house?
You want to hide, If you lose a game
within the players, how do they feel?
No.
They go to the nightclub.
Not all the time. They also empathize. If you lose an insignificant game, maybe.
Is there any game that is insignificant?
Let me give an example. In the Nations Cup, for example, you've won your first 2 games. You've topped the group. Okay.
So you can try out.
Then the third game, you decide to play some other players, and then maybe you lose that game. It happened to us in 2019. We beat Burundi in the first game. We beat Guinea in the second game. We qualified and topped our group, and then we were playing. Was it the country of the former CAF president, Ahmad? Mauritania. Was it?
It's fine.
That country, and they beat us 1-0. It wasn't Mozambique. They beat us 1-0. 2-0 actually. They beat us 2-0. And we were all down. But then there was another game a few days after. So you can't afford to just be down. Every game is peculiar. Every game has its own, strategy. Every game is different. So when you lose a game and you have an opportunity of redeeming yourself 2-3 days after, the attitude is different. When you lose a game and you crash out of a competition, the attitude is different. Like it happened at the World Cup in 2018 when we lost to Argentina in our last group game and missed out of a chance to progress. The attitude was like, graveyard. Everybody was quiet. They were ruminating. Probably we could have defended better, and it goes on and on and on. And at that point, what the players are thinking of is the next opportunity to redeem themselves, And thankfully, a few weeks after, Nations Cup qualifiers were on, and they had a chance of regrouping and redeeming their image.
As an insider, what level of interference do we have in the Super Eagles?
I hear stories about interference, but my own time as Super Eagles media officer, I think we were very lucky that we had a very professional football house. They allowed the coach to do the job. I worked under a number of coaches. I worked under Stephen Keshi. I worked under Sunday Ulise. Then there was a time Samson Siasia was in charge. Salisu Yusuf also was in charge for a few games, friendly games. And then Genetro came on and it was there until I left. So we had a good relationship and we had a bunch of very disciplined players. Well, I don't know what kind of players other media officers worked with, but those boys were very disciplined, they were very professional, and we had everything that we needed. So the coach never complained. He called up the players he believed would deliver for him, and he had a free hand to choose whoever he felt would deliver for him. And we had considerable amount of success. We qualified for the World Cup with a game to go, in a group that had Cameroon, African champions, Algeria that had gone years unbeaten on the African continent, and Zambia, who were African champions,
top African team as well.
You know, and we qualified, winning games home and away, one game to go. We even had the luxury of dropping 3 points, 3 goals, and we still qualified. You know, through technically losing that game against Algeria, and we still qualified. And meeting on 2 AFCONs before Genotro came, the next AFCON we attended when he was in charge, we got the bronze, finished on the podium. You know, so that for me was also some success, and I think we, you know, achieved. We could have done more, of course, done better. There's always room to do better. Even if you win the World Cup, people will say you can still do better. But I think on the whole, we had success.
Why it's interesting when you see you work with about 4 different coaches. Can you rate them?
Yeah, it's they are very different.
And their impacts on the players.
They are very different individuals, different styles, different individuals. Stephen Keshi is the big boss, you know, and their attitude to the work was the same. They wanted the team to win. But their styles were different. Keshi allows a lot of freedom, you know, maybe because that's his style. Even when he was a player, as a defender, he had freedom to rove. And even when he was still a player, he was a coach on the pitch. You know, so his persona, I mean, the players were like his sons. So he could, you know, call them and tell them,
this is it.
and he could discuss with them like a father. What do you feel? What do you think? In fact, there was a time that he could cancel a training session and feel, look, I overloaded you guys the other time. So today, I think, just take it easy. It's part of the recovery. No, just walk around, cool off, and recover. That's Keshi for you. And it's a pity he left when he left, and he has even left us now. May his soul continue to rest in peace. That's life.
It's a journey.
But it was easy going, and it reflected in his attitude to work. Sunday Ulise was a little stricter, younger, and you know, there's a lot of passion in what he does. He wants you to do it in a particular way. He wants you to play, because that was his philosophy of football. And I must say he's a very sound man technically, very sound. And he didn't stay too long as well, but for reasons, you know, that one cannot say too much.
A lot of voodoo around him then? Because he has made a lot of things, people doing all this fun. This is real. You are an insider.
Yeah, some voodoo. I don't know. There was no voodoo. There was no voodoo. At that time, you know, the team, you know, was coming out of not qualifying for the AFCON, and there was a lot of tension, and so everybody was on edge and all of it, and maybe it affected his own attitude to the work as well, because Keshi had just left, and a lot of things were, easy around that time. But I think he still did his best. And he didn't stay too long, but I think he still gave his best as Super Eagles coach. He's a very knowledgeable person, very passionate about the game. With the benefit of hindsight, I'm sure that if he has a chance to manage the Eagles again, maybe he will do things a little differently. Because this generation, the player is a totally different generation, you know. But he was, absolutely amazing and a good gentleman to work with.
That's quite interesting. Of course, we know about Yaradua and all that.
Yes.
We do wish him well wherever he is currently. So let's also look at, you mentioned the fact that the Super Eagles, in a very difficult group, seem to always find it easy. But when we come into
we take things for granted. Easy group.
Why is it so? Do we need a psychologist in that Super Eagles?
I think
we seem to have everybody, but I think the team needs psychologists.
I think it's an attitude thing.
So
really?
It's a psychological
yeah.
issue. So why don't we have a psychologist in the team?
Well, I think that's...
when you come, he comes and goes. We've never really seen its role.
That's very, very, very key, very central. And I think the first person that should manage that situation with the Super Eagles is the coach. To let them understand that you cannot take anybody for granted. I remember when we were going to play Zambia, the last game that qualified us for the World Cup. It wasn't the last game of the group, but if we won that game, we qualify. And everybody knew we were going to win, because we have been beating people home and away, getting results in difficult places and being very rampant in our football. Yeah. Beating Cameroon 4-0, beating Nigeria 3-1, beating everybody. So everybody knew that we would beat Zambia and qualify for the World Cup. But guess what? The coach was monitoring the players. Genotro, he was monitoring the players, and we were surprised when he addressed them on the first day that camp opened in Uyo for the game against Zambia. And he said, look, I've seen a lot of pictures. The pictures I've seen are clear indications that we are not ready for this game. I saw a few players, he mentioned their names, in the private jets. World Cup, here we come. I see a lot of pictures. I see a lot of guys. Your attitude cannot win that game. This attitude cannot win that game. Right there on the first day that we came to camp in Uyo, he addressed the players and he told them, this game is going to be our most difficult game. Yeah. And so he changed that mentality and that attitude right from the first training session before that Zambia game. He changed that attitude. He changed the psychology of the players, and the training sessions reflected it. And by the time we were having our last training session before the Zambia game, he addressed us again and said, this is going to be the most important and the most difficult game we will play. And exactly the way it panned out. The game was a lot difficult. We scored the only goal in the last quarter of the game. Because other games we had been playing, we were beating people 3-4. But this goal, the goal did not come until late, about 70-something minutes. And so at the end of it, they said, I told you. Imagine we didn't change our attitude. They would have surprised us. Yeah. Because the Zambians came with a lot of fire. And so I learned a lesson from him. Never take any game for granted. So when we are in an easy group, if you remember Genetro very well, a lot of people do not understand how he works. He talks and he doesn't underrate any opponent. He will tell you they are going to be tough, they are going to be difficult, they are a good team. He's telling you that the team will be tough, but he knows what he tells his players, that look, we will win this game if we have the right attitude. We can beat this team. But to the media, it tells you respect the opponent. They are good. They can be difficult and all of it. So there's a way he does it.
So the communications are different.
Very different. When he's talking to the players, he's telling them, we can win this game. We are good. We are better in this area. We have stronger players. We have skillful players. But when he's addressing the media, he tells us that, look, guys, don't put too much expectation on the team. The opponent is tough. The opponent is good. Let's respect them. Let's, approach the game with all seriousness. And
of course, we can never stop talking about the Eagles. The Eagles, everybody has called them all kinds of names, but I think the love is back. I see a lot of Nigerians wearing the Super Eagles jersey now proudly and bragging out the chest. On a final note, let's look at a role of a captain. and the national team. Now we have Ndidi. Do you think he's going to be a great captain?
It will be. It will be. Ndidi is, you know, interestingly, I spoke to him when he was made captain. I said, I know you very well. I've known you for a long time, even before you came into the Super Eagles. You just like to stay behind. Yeah. You like to operate behind the scene. You don't like to draw attention to yourself. But that has got to change now, because you are the captain of the team. And you will see at the AFCON, a captain that led on the pitch.
And outside the pitch.
And outside of the pitch, you know. So there are different styles, you know. When you want to see a team, how a team will play, you probably look at the captain and you look at the coach. And the AFCON in Morocco showed that Ndidi is a different kind of captain from Mikel, from and Musa, from Ekong.
He's in front fighting the battles.
Yeah, so I believe he will. He's a cool-headed guy and he does his work. And the beauty of Wilfred Ndidi is simplicity. Yeah. Even in his football, he does the simple things. Simple things. And football tacticians say there's genius in simplicity.
Absolutely.
So I believe
thank you so much. Job. Great. Always great to talk to somebody, a mastermind who understands it and played it to a large extent. Though in the media space, I must tell you, he reported, he was inside, he carried his deepest stories, and that made an impact. I'm sure you've enjoyed his inside stories of the Super Eagles. Great pleasure. And from all of us here at M4S, a beautiful day. Have a pleasant and a glorious 2026. Bye.